This UFO video is from Colombia. Now, I've got other parts of this, plus I've got it blown up a bit so we can see them even closer. But for right now, let's just look at this original. These two objects that could be drones, they could be orbs, I'm not really sure, are just skeet scat and shabdabbing through the skies of Colombia, daytime, like I said, right in the middle of the day, over a heavily populated area. But let me show you the second clip now, then after, I'll show you what it looks like zoomed in. See this? Two unidentified flying objects in tandem over Colombia in the middle of the day, baby. But as I promised, let's look at that zoomed in. Remember, this is really zoomed in, so we don't get a lot of detail, but you can see these two things are flying together, going back and forth. This is amazing. This is an amazing UFO video. Some type of UFO, meaning unidentified flying object. Because it could be drones, could be orbs, could be something alien. We really don't know. Let me know what you thought of that video, Pooshkis, in the comment section. Shabadoo.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's over. Not a rumor, not a theory, not a developing story. This is the moment the deep state got buried, and they got buried on camera on the world stage by three of the most unlikely warriors working in complete lockstep. President Donald J. Trump, Senator Marco Rubio, and of course, the new director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard. Game freaking over. Now here's a twist. It didn't end with an arrest. It didn't end with a classified leak. It ended with truth, intel, and a world audience that saw through every lie in real time. Trump just pulled off the most brilliant NATO power play in modern history. And Rubio torched the leaders trying to undermine the U.S. from within. And Tulsi Gabbard, well, she just confirmed the kill shot publicly. And CNN, they panicked, they lied, and they got caught. But I'm going to show you exactly how. But that's not even the biggest part, because what just happened, it obliterated not just Iran's nuclear program, but the entire
This one will make you think. An FBI agent writes anonymous letter warning Americans. So as thousands of FBI employees brace for possible political retribution, one special agent penned an anonymous open letter circulating across the Bureau in defense of colleagues who took part in the sprawling January 6th Capitol riot investigation. And this is what it says. It's titled, "Uncommon Sense Was a Common Vice." Those with knowledge of the United States Marine Corps will recognize the irony of this title. I wish its words were not true, but as I write this, I believe they are. Currently, there is an effort to cull a significant number of career special agents from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is an unthinkable action that will gravely undermine the security of the nation, well beyond what many of our citizens are aware. For those seeking to raise their awareness, I offer this vignette free of political bias or moral judgment. It is not about any one person, but an amalgamation of multiple FBI special agents. He goes on to say, "I am the coach of your child's soccer team. I sit next to you on occasion in religious devotion. I am a member of the PTA. With friends, you celebrated my birthday. I collected your mail and took out your trash while you were away from home. I played a round of golf with you. I'm a veteran. I'm the average neighbor in your
$1.1 billion Powerball isn't just luck. The Simpsons may have warned us. In a forgotten episode, Springfield wakes under an eerie red dawn. Homer grips a glowing lottery ticket he swears he never bought. The TV screen flickers with static as Kent Brockman struggles to speak. Behind him, 6 golden spheres spin in the void. Lisa circles 090325 in her notebook with trembling hands. Bart spray paints a massive Powerball logo on the school wall at 3:33 a.m. All clocks in Springfield stop. The church bells toll endlessly, though no one is inside. Moe's Tavern fills with golden bubbles as the taps freeze. In the town square, a giant billboard bursts with blinding light. Citizens gather hypnotized, staring at the numbers forming in the sky. Chief Wiggum panics as his radio repeats jackpot, jackpot, jackpot. Lisa's chalkboard glows with 6 empty circles. Suddenly, each one fills with glowing golden numbers. Homer falls to his knees, clutching the ticket as if it burns. Marge whispers, "It was never luck, it was destiny." And hidden in the background, a strange symbol no one noticed, a clue that might reveal who really controls the game. Finally, the golden numbers appear: 7, 14, 28, 34, 46. Then, after a pause, the last sphere glows brighter than all the rest: 9. Springfield is left frozen in silence. The episode ends with static swallowing the screen, and a final whisper echoes, "The numbers were never random."
Whoops, I did it again. What's that, you ask? I found another, and let's just say it's a big one.
John F. Kennedy Jr. This is John F. Kennedy Jr. we're talking about.
And let me start this off by saying I have had many people ask me to find him. And I've really never had too much of an interest because for me, he's all tied up into the Q stuff. And well, I'm not too into the Q stuff. But for some reason yesterday, while my wife and I were driving, I was triggered to think about him. And I just said to myself for the first time, I'm going to just open up my mind and see what pours in. And within 5 seconds, I had a face and a name right in mind. It just popped in. So the very first thing I did when I got home is I looked up a YouTube video because I just wanted to study his face and his mannerisms and the way he spoke. And well, then I went to the person's name who just popped into my head, and I looked up a YouTube video on him. And within 10 seconds of that video, they had mentioned the Kennedy family. And this guy has no...
I came across this one specific video, and it was going really viral. And it's a very, very creepy clip. Oh, what the fuck is that? What the f is that? What the fuck was that? So what did it remind you of? Or
it reminded me of a sleep paralysis demon, and it reminded me of how like succubuses look. Do you know what that is? Succubus?
It's like a sexual demon?
Yeah. Like search it up. It's gonna look exactly like that.
Wait, seriously?
I'm being dead ass. I don't know if I'm bugging. It could be the sleep paralysis demon that looks like that.
Oh, like this one?
Yes.
Incubus.
Yes. I think incubus is for the girl, and then succubus is for the guy.
That's probably what it is.
Why you say that?
Because in that specific clip, he's having like a sexual dream. But the thing that I found the most creepy about that specific scene is how whenever I would hear about sleep paralysis.
So I see everybody saying that they haven't seen the president for the last couple of days. And this shit is looking kind of weird. Now, the fact that J.D. Vance jumped on TV and said what he said, and we all heard what he said, that's another thing that makes this shit believable. And aside from the videos, I went down some rabbit holes. That Pentagon Pizza Index, they said they're at DEFCON 5 right now. And if you don't believe me, you could just Google Pentagon Pizza Index and it will come up. Go to the website and you'll see. Mind you, this is Labor Day weekend. We all know. The president loves to speak and we haven't heard from him. They have things going on for the Labor Day weekend and he's not a part of it. That's what they're saying. I'm gonna just say this. Whatever is going on right now, they've been getting us ready for this shit for the last couple of months. They've been making us look left when we should have been looking right the whole entire time. Telling us something is coming in the next couple of months and things of that nature. Trust and believe, whatever is going on, whatever is about to happen, they already knew what's gonna happen. So I'm gonna say this, protect your peace by any means necessary because things can get crazy real fast. I mean, just jump down the timeline. Them deploying the military in different states and things of that nature, none of this shit add up. So again, we're dealing with the masters of illusion. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm out.
Guys, wanna see something cool? Sun setting on New York City. Jersey side, New York side. Shit, I do horizontal for y'all. Wait, just look. Sun setting. That's all you see. Going home, that's a damn. That's a shot. Hope you enjoyed it.
Yo. All hands, hoist the colors high.
Something is going on. Like, I don't know, but I think that we shifted into another dimension. Now, listen to this. So, I was looking at a world map today, and I'm like, wait a second. Like, all these countries are completely in a different place. Like, look at where South America is. South America has always been under North America, and now it's in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Look at New Zealand. Look at some of these other islands and where they are. You can't tell me that this map wasn't different 5 years ago. Okay, so I started going down the rabbit hole, and I looked at Home Depot, right? I go there all the time. I was there a couple weeks ago, except it's not called Home Depot. It's called the Home Depot. Yeah, there's a the in front of the Home Depot. King Tut, right? We all learned about him in school, and we've seen that famous mask, right? That's solid gold that he wears. What's on the top of it? A giant cobra. Nope, there isn't one. Okay, there is a cobra, but it's to the right, and there's also another vulture on the other side. It's completely different. Think about Scary Movie 2. My favorite line to say is, "Take my strong hand." Except he never says that. Now he says, "Take my hand." If you don't believe me, look it up for yourself. Like, something is going on. We've shifted into another dimension.
So if my mind is blown with what I just experienced, you better hang on to your seats. Let's start with this 34-mile line of sight I had from north to south, and check out how it looks. Let me first show you that over the course of 34 miles, there should be approximately 770 feet of curvature. And from one end of the 34 miles here, straight, flat, straight, flat, straight, flat to the other end of the 34 miles. Where's that 700 feet of curvature? But I haven't even begun, because this morning I was walking that same beach with a sunrise backlighting what appeared to be buildings in the very distant background, and I thought to myself, no way, because the angle of those buildings was pointing right to Charleston, South Carolina, and even I, as
So we're working on a property, getting it ready to list, and this is what we find.
Mrs. Baird's Butter Bread, November 27th, 2024.
Dang, that's a long time ago. Imagine just finding a full loaf of bread in your house and there's no mold on it or nothing. Oh, man. Well, we know to stay away from Mrs. Baird's.
No mold. Nothing in between. Factory tag. Still looks brand new.
Okay, that's really scary. Why are we eating this?
Foggy-headed, blurry-eyed, dizzy, the CME, the solar flare, the interplanetary shock. Y'all feel like trash? Are all animals acting weird? How about all animals in general around you right now? You look outside, you see the aurora down south. Right this moment, you have so many different frequencies of different wavelengths going around your head at the same time. And this is a lot worse for a lot of y'all, but I'll show you in this video how to help it. I tried to show y'all before, but for some reason, people didn't see it. Here you go. Mysterious illness? This is the video that'll change your life. For years now, I've had worsening chronic brain fog, as well as really lightheaded and just really zoned out. Not just me, but my wife as well. And although certain things do make it worse, like the Schumann frequency or the air quality outside, if you or your family relate, then this right here is the video that you've been looking for. But first, let me preface this entire thing by saying, I'm not making any medical claims, any diagnosis, nothing like that. I'm just telling you about me and my life and what helped my life. You know how TikTok likes to play.
South Africa. 25 miles northwest.
I'll explain this in a minute, but a few years ago, we started getting all foggy-headed, zoned out, all sorts of stuff, feeling really fatigued, all for no reason. Looking back, now I found out it happened when we went from the Note 20 Ultra to the S22 Ultra. But the S22 Ultra, unlike the Note 20 Ultra, actually did use where Note 20 claimed they did, but they didn't have an antenna for it. Follow me, let's get deeper. But while annoying, it was manageable. And then we moved and we upgraded our Wi-Fi and we got these new phones, the 25 Ultra. Do y'all see that? What?
What?
But we didn't think about this yet, because we had moved in and we noticed all of a sudden we were way more foggy-headed than before. And of course, I had my suspicions along with other contributing factors. Other things, and the human frequency makes it worse, right? But I was like, what is wrong? Like, I feel so friggin' terrible every day. I can't sleep, never sleep. So I went ahead and bought this little meter, and this is on 4G. It's on 4G. Went up to 300. The Wi-Fi you just saw, the 6G Wi-Fi, went up to 1,000. So we made a change, and all of a sudden we've been feeling great, and I've slept 5 days in a row with not one single problem. Let me show you how to do that. First, only connect to Wi-Fi when you actually need Wi-Fi, so it's not pulling it in your room where you sleep. There's a mighty big difference between like 100 megabytes per second and a gigabyte per second. So first, open your phone settings, and then you're going to go to the connections. It's very similar, should be on the iPhone. Then you're going to go to mobile networks right here. Allow something service. No, say no, no way, and it will automatically stay on 4. What I showed you at the beginning was the detection for the 4 and not the 5. The 5 is 100 times worse than the 4. Look, unless you're uploading high quality stream, this is for 100 megabytes per second is plenty. For the most part, it'll even run your shows on your phone in 4K. And ever since I stopped using this and turned it from 5 to 4, I've had no problems and I have all the data I need. I couldn't turn this all the way off because security cams, much like maybe you, but you can log into your IP from your router and you can turn it down from 6 or 5 to 2.4. Way better in general. I'm telling you, it's very much worth it. This will make a major difference in you and your family's lives. So make sure you let them know.
I knew something wasn't right with that Burning Man festival. Look at this shit. They're saying that a man was found deceased in a pool of blood at the Burning Man festival. And that's not the only thing that happened. 2 women were SA'd at Burning Man festival this year. But the crazy part about this shit is, when they called the police and the police came, the police wasn't able to get in Burning Man. Because when they tried to get in Burning Man to find out what happened with the 2 victims that were SA'd, they were stopped by Black Rock Rangers. So that doesn't sound crazy to you? Mind you, this Black Rock security weren't even officers. They were rent-a-cops. And they wouldn't let the real cops in to find out what was going on. If you look at my last video, you'll see I said it was a lot of things that usually happen at Burning Man that people don't talk about. There have been a lot of people that came up missing at Burning Man that people don't talk about. You have a man deceased and they're calling it a homicide. You have 2 women saying that they were SA'd and police can't get to them. What type of shit is that? Again, if you know about Burning Man Festival, I want you to jump in the comments and let me know what you know. Because right now, it don't seem like a good festival. It don't seem like a fun time. It seems like some real ritualistic. I ain't gonna get into it.
Guys, scientists think that they have actually just solved the entire mystery of the Bermuda Triangle, and the truth might actually be scarier than aliens. So for decades now, people have obviously thought that the Bermuda Triangle was a supernatural zone on the planet that just couldn't be explained. But this new study is saying that the truth is somehow worse. So an ocean scientist from the University of Southampton just recreated what might have happened to the USS Cyclops. If you don't know what that is, that was the ship that vanished with 309 people on board back in 1918. And he's saying that this is not aliens and it is not portals, it's waves, but not just any waves. Dude, they are calling these rogue waves. They're insane walls of water that reach over 100 feet tall like a skyscraper coming at you at full speed. They're saying that these waves happen whenever multiple storm systems collide and then the ocean basically creates a monster. In a bunch of different lab tests, they showed that these waves could actually lift an entire ship up at both ends and snap it in half in just minutes. They're saying that these waves are so insanely sudden and so massive that even modern ships and planes might not survive them. These scientists are basically saying that the Bermuda Triangle might just be one of the most dangerous places on Earth where storms collide. All of the aliens and conspiracy theory stuff is obviously insane, but these scientists are actually thinking that this is the answer to the entire mystery. I want to know if you think the Bermuda Triangle conspiracies are real, or do you think this is the answer?
So just a little backstory to how this video even came about. In my backyard, I actually have a gate and I have a whole lot of cars. One morning I needed to move some cars on my backyard. I couldn't couldn't get my gate open. I'm pushing. I can't get that bitch open. Like, something blocks. I'm like, all right, you know, let me go around the corner and see what's blocking. Never in my life would I have thought that it was an unalive lady right there blocking my gate, and she was the reason. Now, I've been pushing on this lady body. Now I'm feeling like, oh, wow. Like, now it's touching me because I didn't want to touch you, ma'am. I'm so sorry. Like, now it's to the point where, wow, like, hold up. Now my shit is up. Now I'm looking. Now I'm trying to figure out what the fuck going on. So I go back and I double back on my security cameras and I watch what happened. And this man truly dumps this lady body, son. Like, and you can see him. If you know this man, you're going to know this man if you watch this video. So the fact that the police don't give a fuck to do anything about it is insane. He's riding with this lady unalived in his passenger fucking seat with a blanket over her. He pulls up and he throws the blanket off of her and he disposes of her body in such a fucking mad, angry way. He steps on this lady. He does all types of shit to get her out the car. Son, this shit is not cool. This shit is not fair. And the fact that nobody wants to do anything about it is crazy. And I'm really to the point where TikTok can find this man. TikTok can find this fucking man. It is very clear on who he is. And if you know this man, you're going to know the man from the video. You're going to know his call. You're going to know all of that. So I'm truly to the point where I'm just about to expose it because this lady deserves some type of justice. Some type of something. I mean, y'all didn't even... Oh, man, it's a crazy world, y'all. It's a crazy world, and I'm just trying to do my part to get this lady justice because no one else has this evidence. No one else has this video but me. I am the only one, besides who I've turned it into, meaning police, detectives, whoop, whoop, whoop. I'm the only one. So the fact that no one is doing nothing about it is crazy, and I feel like I have to. As a human, I feel like I have to.
Something incredibly weird's going on. The more you watch this video, the crazier it's gonna get. Because this guy right up there has been missing for about 6 days now. That thing. And of course there's no interviews, no TV interviews, no spottings, whatever, but it gets weirder. Because people keep posting pictures they claim are certain things and it actually turns out the pictures were a while ago. So why is this happening? Sorry, 3 times. They're claiming that this is him as well. Does it not remind you of the royal family? We're about to get into it. I just think it's insane that in today's time, we have situations like this where we don't know where people are who run the country. So if you know me, you know I like to do photo forensics. This is the picture of him claiming to be spotted today in Virginia. First thing to note, that floor is from Mar-a-Lago, not Virginia. Second, all AI processors said it was not an AI image. But look how just dark the lines are, especially on that mirror. That up there is what it's supposed to look like when it's an actual image. It's supposed to be natural and faint lines, not dark ones. I mean, honestly, that's kind of pointless. I could have showed you this first. Because the metadata of this image shows that the base layer of the image was 2022. Now you'll say, oh, that's not Trump from 2022. We know that. The base layer of a CGI photo, meaning the base layer, the background, whatever they used first to put over new pictures was 2022. It was also edited on an Apple computer. They're like, oh, he was spotted. And enhanced, that just does not look like him. And by the way, I'm making no allegations here. TikTok. Now Grok claims the picture is from May 29th, 2024. But the weird part, the image will not show up anywhere online besides just a few hours ago. So what's Grok talking about? Grok is probably noticing one of the elements or the pieces of the picture and is claiming that's the whole picture. But again, in what world is this kind of stuff necessary? Surely he could just make a video and say, here I am, it's me. It's just really weird. He had just posted this on his account, or maybe somebody else posted it on his account, unrelated, and completely unrelated again, 1000%. We had him just come out and saying that he could take over. And then this again. Hey, if you're watching this on TikTok, you better go watch the rest on the red play button, the blue button, or the IT platform, because they get banned TikTok.
So Young Thug is really making it clear that if he going down for anything, he taking somebody down with him for something. So this man then said, since y'all want to call me a snitch, let's just air it all out then. We all been taking mad in Atlanta. I'm talking all your favorite rappers be taking it and they homeboys be giving it. Don't wear no skinnies around, baby, if you not with it. Just saying. So Thug just like, I'm gonna be at the top of my pettiness because now they done busted me for these snitching allegations, and I'm just gonna take everybody down with me, and that's just what it is. So now, Thug, I'm assuming you done just got to the point where everything you know, you just letting it air out. You just literally said that all the rappers, all our favorite rappers from Atlanta, Baby, Gunna, all y'all, that that's what y'all down there doing. Thug, that's some information, but still, you ain't right.
Bruh, so this lady is out at the lake with her little sister. Her sister is in the water swimming. And then she starts struggling as if she was finna drown. So when she was struggling, she tried to grab onto the side of the dock, but the seaweeds was making it hard and making it slippery. So a guy had a ladder in the water, and she seen other people climbing out the water on that ladder. So all she can do is really go to that ladder as the last resort, or she was going to drown. And instead of her using that same ladder that other people was using, this man right here named Kevin grabbed the ladder and took it out and told her, no, go around. So this man was watching her literally drown in the water, y'all, and didn't want her to climb out the water on his ladder. The fuck? So he let other kids use that same ladder that the girl was trying to use to save her life. But instead of him letting her use that ladder, he told her no. Like that joint was precious or gold or some shit. Big sister had to jump in to save her sister because you had other people around the lake too that was watching her drown too. And then there was another lady, a YT lady, going to say, well, you people shouldn't be swimming in here if you don't know how to swim. Thank God the sister was right there, because if the sister wasn't around, Kevin and all them other people would have watched her drown. This man literally screamed when she tried to touch the ladder, no, it's mine. Nigga, it's a fucking piece of metal. You mad over a metal, fool? This man, Kevin, felt entitled to a fucking ladder, y'all. What would you do in this situation? I'm telling you, bro, I'm probably doing the same shit she did and more. She threw the man game into the water. He talking about he calling the cops. Call the cops, nigga. I don't care. I probably would have started boop, 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 Javante.
I think it's strange that fire doesn't hurt my eyes, but a flashlight does. I mean, we've all stared at fire. This is one of the biggest bonfires on record, and we've all looked at fireworks. And how come neither one of those seem to hurt our eyes? Yet when we look into the sun that is supposedly 93 million miles away, even though it's in these clouds, it definitely causes some eye irritation, causes you to squint and even look away. And I mean, they just tell us that the sun is a giant burning ball of fire, right? Well, this is what they tell us it looks like. This is their pictures. And this is mine with a solar filter on, zooming right on in. Does that look like a giant ball of fire to you? And hang around, because I want to show you something. I decided to do another little test with my solar filter, and I put it on while I had my iPhone light on and a blue hot burning flame and my Zippo lighter. And let's see how
If you live in the Pacific Northwest, Nevada, or anywhere on the Ring of Fire, this could save your life. I'm about to show you something that seismic agencies won't tell you. I've been tracking earthquake patterns using the same mathematical sequence that predicts volcanic eruptions, and the numbers are screaming danger. Mount Rainier has been swarm quaking since July 8th. That's 56 days. The Fibonacci sequence says day 55 is critical. We're there right now. Nevada just had a 4.7 magnitude with dozens of aftershocks. The mathematical pattern says larger quakes follow exactly 27 days after solar flares. August had massive solar activity. September 8th through the 15th, that's this week. The mathematical probability spikes for the Pacific Northwest. The same equation that predicts the daily volcanic count to within 95% accuracy, that's the same equations. September 27th to the 30th are global earthquake enhancement windows. The sun's electromagnetic field creates a 27-day lag effect that triggers seismic activity. I'm not trying to cause panic. I'm trying to save lives. If you're in Washington, Oregon, Northern California, Nevada, or anywhere seismically active, check your emergency kits, have water, know your safe spots. The mathematics don't lie, and they're pointing to the next 2 weeks. The same pattern predicts Iceland's 12 eruptions perfectly. Kilauea's weekly episodes exactly. Even NASA tracks these solar correlations now. Share this with anyone in the earthquake zones. The math says be ready. Please stay safe.
Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party of November of 2024 was titled The Laugh Supper, by the group, of course. There is a lot to unpack in this picture. For one, I found it very, very interesting that Jim Carrey was wearing a Saturn shirt, while Seth Green was wearing a Mickey Mouse shirt. What is he doing to his eye? A lot of people would say I would do anything to be in this room with this group of guys. This is some of Hollywood's most famous comedians. However, have we been fooled by the characters they play on and off screen? Let's take Jim Carrey, for example.
I don't exist, so they're all characters that I played, including Jim Carrey, including Joel Barish, including any of those things. They're all characters.
And why would any Hollywood celebrity create a character off screen for the public?
Because I thought I was just building something that people would like, but it was a character.
Do any of you remember Catriona White? She took her own life in 2015 after being Jim Carrey's on and off girlfriend of 3 years. Catriona wrote a letter 2 years prior to taking her own life, claiming that Jim Carrey introduced her to various things including mental abuse, disease, substances, bad atmospheres, you name it. Catriona's mother and her ex-husband both tried to take Jim Carrey to court for the alleged wrongful death of Catriona. However, by February of 2018, the case was thrown out and life went on for everyone. Well, except for Catriona. And let's not forget the video he made for Emma Stone when she was just 22 years old and Jim Carrey was well over 40.
And every day for the rest of your life, you would thank God that I was the appropriate age for you.
So does the world only love the characters they play on and off screen? Do we ever see who they really are? And like I said previously, there's a lot to unpack in this picture. I thought Jim Carrey was leaving the industry and now it's looking like he's even deeper in. Let's kind of break down who the heck is at Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party. Welcome back to part 2 of who the heck was at Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party in January of 2024. And this is where I want to make a correction. One commenter posted that Jim Carrey was wearing a Saturn shirt not because he is a modern day Roman Empire jester, but all because his birthday is in January and he is a Capricorn. But moving on. I was really curious as to why this specific group of men was at Jim Carrey's birthday party, Jeff Ross being one of them. In 2020, a young girl named Jessica had come forward stating that Jeff Ross had an inappropriate relationship with her when she was 15 and he was 33 years old. She made multiple posts on social media and platforms like X and also did multiple interviews showing proof of her relationship when she was 15 and Jeff was 33. She also claimed that her father knew and approved of their relationship. Now, what I found interesting is when I went to further research a story, all these articles were popping up that Jeff Ross was suing the woman who went public with the underage relationship for defamation. However, that's it. That's where the story ends. You can't find any articles if he won the defamation lawsuit, if she lost, if she was paid off. The story just disappears. It made many question if he was protected and by who. A few years later comes the loss of one of his closest and longest friends in the industry, Bob Saget. And they're all mutuals here. Let's remember. Now, what I found interesting is that as soon as Bob Saget passes away from blunt force trauma to the head, the first two people there to pick up his car from LAX airport are John Mayer and Jeff Ross, in which Jeff Ross states himself,
I feel vulnerable. I feel less protected without him in the world. He really was the guy you called if you had a life.
It was a 28-minute long video of basically John Mayer nonstop talking. It was completely manic, 1 minute crying, the next minute laughing hysterically.
Every reason under the sun not to trust the system, because in a lot of ways, a lot of times that system failed. Foraging in the kitchen. except we're the Olsen twins.
What I always found interesting is even though Bob Saget claimed to be one of the father figures of the Olsen twins, he never hesitated to make fun of their disorders, their diseases, their addictions, and their lifestyle. Now, I find the jokes of the Olsen twins to be extremely unacceptable in front of close family members, much less the entire world. But they didn't.
Hit on the Olsens when they were 8. He didn't stop till they were 21. Is it true that he used to give Mary Kate acting lessons? He'd tell her, act like this never happened. She'd be like, you got it, dude.
Another relationship I found interesting is his close ties to John Stamos. And let's not forget it was Uncle Jesse who took the Olsen twins to Disneyland for a little bit more bonding, you know, to build trust. However, Jeff's jokes about why John Stamos loves Disney so much are concerning, especially considering the time period.
He bought the D. He bought the D from Disneyland. Why'd you buy the D? You hang it over your bed and tell girls it's a small world after all?
Now let's just say that those jokes were so bad that I couldn't include them in my video or else I would be completely censored from TikTok. But all this does make me wonder if birds of a feather flock together. And do you believe that these celebrity roasts are humiliation rituals, or do you believe that they are just that? Jokes. Stay tuned for part 3 of Who the Heck Was at Jim Carrey's 62nd birthday party?
Unreal. The scariest state of emergency has just dropped, and children are not living past the age 1. We'll get into the articles in a minute, and of course it's not all children, but it has spiked significantly, so much as to inspire a state of emergency. You can see down here the southeast United States is where majority of it's happening at. This one area right here. Mississippi declares a public health emergency over infant deaths. Southern states declare health emergency over record number of babies dying before their first birthday. Of course, I can't give opinions on this kind of video, but they're all being regarded under the term of SIDS. Health officials are not sure what's driving the uptick, but blame a combination of problems transferring expectant mothers between hospitals, limited access to doctors, and rural travel times to care. But it's always been like that. That has not changed. Most of the state's infant deaths are linked to preterm births, birth defects, low birth weight, birth defects, sudden infant death syndrome, the unexplained sudden death of a baby before their first birthday. There must be something new with the environment over the last few years that's causing all these side effects. Think in terms of energy and frequency. Speaking of energy and frequency, I also want to remind you in the power of prayer. You might think it's foolish, but God uses the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. I've witnessed so many miracles, so many miracle healings, to the point where I would go over all the specified time limits on social media to even begin to try to tell y'all. But the question remains, what is happening in this one particular area and overall?
Party on the bed. Hey, Mama said don't jump on the bed. We jumping. What would make you build a 10-foot, 6-inch animatronic? An indestructible robot. This robot can run faster than us. This robot is bulletproof. And again, this robot is 10 feet, 6 inches. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Listen to what he said.
Just to protect Nosy, make sure Nosy lasts.
That's the legs.
Forever. Permanent.
I'm not even that tall.
It'll be satisfying for me to know Nosy's not going anywhere.
Listen.
Even if Nosy is, on its own for a couple weeks.
On its own?
Or whatever. Just doing its own thing. It won't be damaged by the rain,
Listen.
water, anything, fire, bullets, nothing.
It won't be damaged by the rain, bullets, fire, nothing. What? And this is supposed to be the finished product. So you're telling me this thing can run 32 miles an hour. This thing also has silent footsteps, 10 feet, 6 inches, 32 miles an hour, silent footsteps. That's an alien. And this thing right here can crouch like that. This thing right here can come to your window and look in your window. And I ask again, why is this man making this thing? Who does this man have a problem with? Because this shit right here, if it's built the right way, the United States Army might not be able to do anything to this animatronic. This is the Terminator 2025 right here. Mind you, he's building this thing, and he plans on taking this thing from state to state. Don't come to my state, man.
You might really want to see all the things I found. Is war actually going to break out between the US and Venezuela? Because right behind me you can see Maduro preparing for a US clash. And it's much bigger than 4,500 military personnel and nuclear capabilities being sent to them. So interestingly enough, when looking into all this stuff in the conflict, I found a very big conflict of interest. We had Chevron with recent licenses, and we also have Exxon with very influential money. But what kind of influence? We'll get to it. So like I mentioned earlier, as we speak, we have 4,500 military personnel all being sent to international waters outside of Venezuela. 8 warships, 1 nuclear-capable submarine, and a surveillance ship. All that for what they're alleging, of course, telling us the truth, just, you know, border problems, things getting in, bad things getting in, all that stuff. Because like the government said, this has to do with illicit substances and people smuggling. But I'll tell you what, for an operation like that, a nuclear sub seems way overboard, doesn't it? Now 1000% unrelated, not relevant whatsoever, when looking into Maduro, I found that he has had quite the tension between him and a Middle Eastern country that starts with an I. At the very same exact time, we have all these 24-hour music festivals going on around America and around the world. And this guy might just be a proponent of that. I find that very odd. And completely unrelated 1000%. I mean, did you know that country that starts with an I just unalived the Prime Minister of Yemen a few hours ago? Let me say it again. Assassinated the leader of a country. Imagine if that happened to someone else's leader. Now, you see what I'm saying? And 1000% unrelated whatsoever again. We have Maduro with a $50 million bounty on his head all at the same time. And ever since all the warships and nuclear subs been sent that way, the Pentagon pizza tracker has been going insane. All of this while the Mexican president is condemning U.S. military action. So what really seems to be the deal right here with the situation? Is it all coincidence? Of course it is. Of course it is.
When is the collapse, the dimensional collapse starting? Is it already starting?
It's already started.
With the sound and the color?
Okay. It's already started. Thank you for leading me here. What you're going to start hearing about in the very near future are something called rods. And they will be something that will be videotaped. And what you will see are large streaks just shooting through the air that are etheric, but are being able to be captured on tape. And what you're seeing is literally 4th and 5th dimensional craft moving through space, not having the slightest clue that they're flying right through us. Okay? And that's because you're beginning to see the implosion. It's great stuff.
And ghosts?
Yes, you will see more ghosts, more apparitions, because those that are stuck between 3rd and 4th density will start being more and more visible as our frequency starts to raise and rise. A lot of them, unless they are healed, and I do not know how to do that, how to set them free from their self-imposed prisons, will be exiting, transitioning. I will share this with you. There are definitely some things underneath the Sphinx, but the bulk of the real stuff that will tell us about our ancient history is still underneath the pyramid. And there was a vault built 3 levels deep, and the pyramid was built over it. Okay, that's where the real juice is. That's where the real knowledge is. The Sphinx will have some things, but it's a distraction. You know, these guys are real good at what they do, at diverting attention from reality, from truth. They're excellent at it. If they put that much energy into telling the truth, God, we'd all be out of here. We're going to truly find out who we are genetically. Information will be coming from all corners of the earth from contactees. There will be more and more contacts, and they will tell us about the 22 different races and more of our history. There will also be massive earth changes. They will start with a magnetic pole shift, which could happen anytime between now and the year 2001. Things have been sped up. We're already starting to see the magnetic poles shift as we see birds migrate in the wrong direction at the wrong times of year. The birds move along the Earth's magnetic grid lines.